Hello and welcome to Finger Thinking, a channel dedicated to analog creativity and productivity tools. Today's What's in the Box is, looks like a Hermes baby, but it is, ta-da, oops, an Empire Aristocrat, which is the version of the Hermes baby made under license by Empire, and as the name suggests, if you lived in the Commonwealth, so England, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, there's a good chance that your Hermes baby was more likely going to be one of these, because these were easier to get. So, what have we got? We have a really smelly typewriter. Oh my goodness. So, this one is brand new to me. I have another one of these, which is basically identical, which was my equal first typewriter that I ever got. I adore it. I love it so much. So when this one came up, I thought, ooh, I wonder what it's like to have two of them. So I have a bug. So I got my brother to get this for me. So it's come over in a suitcase as well. Now, I haven't used it yet. It does look off the bat in much better nick than my first Empire Aristocrat. So we'll have a look. We'll see if it works, and I'll take you through the machine, because I really love these machines. And the smell is getting to me already. Oh my goodness. First things first, let's have a quick look at the case. So the case is got two little lugs on the back, and then the front you've got these two buttons which are spring loaded, so they just have these two little locks that sit in down under here. It's a really secure case. It's really easy to go back on. I've got the towel stuck, sorry about that. So when you don't have it sitting on a towel, the case goes on really, really easily. And then it's really secure. So the handle on this one works. The handle on my other one is really stiff. So this is something that I am confident to carry around by the handle. So many of my typewriters, even though they have a case, I'm always carrying them with my hand underneath. But 60 years in, and I think this one's doing, this style of case holds up pretty well. So if we take this back off, the typewriter, really simple, very small. It doesn't have a lot of functions on it, as you can see. The keyboard, there's no one. It's old enough to not have a dollar sign on it, so it's still imperial currency. This is in pretty good condition. My other one has, I think this is painted, and on my other one, this has actually got a spot where the thumb is actually worn it through. And I have a lot of fingernail marks on my last one. So if we have a look at it, so pretty standard side. On the back, we can see that this is manufactured by British Typewriters in West Bromwich, England. And then McDougall's appear to be the sole representatives throughout Australia. So yes, this is definitely an Australian delivered and purchased typewriter. The other side looks much the same as the left, so we'll clean that out later. Okay. So these are the ribbon covers. They lift up. There is no ribbon in this one. And I just push this one down. So this one's, it's a bit of an interference fit. So what you have is that each ribbon cover has two little lugs that it fits down over. So this one pushes down nicely. This one takes a little bit more effort. And if I have a look at this, and this must be really common, there's a slight little dent here. There's a little bit of a wave in the side here. And so I don't think these were ever super precision anyway. And so it's pretty easy for this to get pushed down behind this little lug. So I might have a go at bending that out later. On my other one, they don't sit down right either. So it is a single ribbon. There's no ribbon color selector, so single color ribbon, sorry. There is only two spacing options, single and double. The carriage return folds out. Carriage release. There is a, there we go, paper stand at the back, margins, and then otherwise it's such a simple typewriter. There is nothing fancy about this. So what we're going to do is, it doesn't have a ribbon in it right now, but I am going to get some paper, put it in and see whether the carriage moves and types. So that fed really easily. That looks like it's fed pretty straight. This is a no frills. So I think I have a baby somewhere that I've never played with, so I can't talk from experience about how well it compares to the baby. My understanding is that they're basically identical. So if I put this in, there's no rollers on this. It's just a lift up paper bale. So okay, so that works great. With my last one, I had an issue with it where when I actually got it, it did not work at all. The carriage didn't move. I'd never had a typewriter before, but I thought, I'm an engineer, I can fix it. I'll figure it out. So that's what I did. I figured it out. I spent days trying to get it working, and it needed a massive, massive clean. I'd never taken one apart, but it was pretty simple to see. It was all gunked up. So this one needs a little bit of a clean. If we have a look at, I'll take the paper back out. There we go. I think if we have a look, we can see that there's just some dirt and some dust and some gunk in around here. So this definitely needs a clean. And oh, this one's got feet on it. So we didn't turn it over earlier. My first one doesn't have these feet. These disappeared a long time ago. So this is nifty. The other one I have to have on a rubber mat to type with, because otherwise it slides around all over the place. Okay, well, let's take some of these panels off and give it a bit of a clean. Okay, so most of the panels are held in by these little slotted screws here. There's one on the back. So there's only, I think there's two on the front from memory. Yes, there is. So there's 7 of these screws in total. I do believe they're all the same. I do try and keep my screws all in order, but if for some reason they get out of order, they should all fit the same holes. When I only have a few screws that I have to deal with, I'll often just get a strip of blue tack, and this one I'll put on the wall, or I put it on the table, but I've got the towel here, and I'll just put it on the wall, and then I can put my screws into it, and I'll put them in the order that they came off the typewriter. One thing I like to do is look at a typewriter and try and determine if the screws have ever come out of it. And looking at this, I don't think, it doesn't look like those screws have been taken out from the factory, but if I look at these two screws, that one definitely looks like it's come out. And part of how you can tell is you can see there's a little bit of burring. Whoops, way off camera, sorry about that. You can see that there's a little bit of burring. If you don't have a screwdriver tool, it's exactly the same width as the screws. On typewriters, I find they can tend to just burr a little bit, and it's a really easy giveaway. Anyway, so you can see already that this kind of pressed metal casing has a bit of spring to it, so it's going to be interesting when it comes to putting that back together. Okay, so this just, I think, lifts off. Oh, how about we take this off the ribbon cutter? Then, yeah, lifts off really, really easily. So inside we have some sound deadening material. This is in really, really good condition, this material. It's certainly disintegrating a little bit. My other one, it's got a little bit of dust in there. We'll give this a bit of a blowout. This back section also comes off really, really easily. Okay, there's a few bugs and bits and pieces in there. So this machine is going to need a bit of a clean. So by the looks of it, it's probably spent a little bit of time in a shed or something. Either that or someone had a lot of bugs in their cupboard. And yeah, you can see from the amount of dirt that's just even on the carriage return cable. There's a bit of blowing out and sucking out and wiping out to do. All right, we'll get on with it. This one, I'm just going to use a little Dyson on some of these parts before I blow the dirt off. Okay, just found a little Lazy Susan in the cupboard, so that will help me just spin it around as I blow it out with the trusty CompuCleaner Expert Blaster. All right, let's give it a go. Okay, so that didn't take long. I'm going to just get rid of some of the dust and grime that's now on the towel, and then I'll be back. All right, next we will give it just a clean. So I'm going to get out wet wipes, isopropyl alcohol, a toothbrush, which is over here somewhere, and we will just give this once over a bit of a clean, make it a little bit more hygienic to play with. Okay, so I have this standard, I think this is Universal Group 9 ribbon. This should fit fine. And so there is a slight little spring here on the spool spindles. You don't see that on everything. I think this is one of the little details which is really funny, because in some ways this is such a basic machine, but it's so well designed that there's little details like that. If I lift it up, and you can see it's just a little bit of bent steel as the spring. But yeah, little details like that make this machine such a great little unit. Okay, the ribbon, so easy to thread. And now we'll put some paper in, do some typing, and go through the features of this terrific little machine. Load it up. There is no guide on this side, so to keep it small and portable, you can either have it straight up against this paper bale or just a little bit out. So if you want it to line up with the 0, it actually needs to line up with the edge of this paper release lever. Looks like a pretty even feed. So let's set some margins. And let's pop up our paper stand. We'll get it off the Lazy Susan so it doesn't move around so much. Oh, I've popped the ribbon out of the, there we go. Ooh, I did not realise that this was a eyelet ribbon. There you go. I thought this was a group 9. It's not. So this is here the manual ribbon change direction lever. So if we just do that, and we'll wind this back the other way so we can keep typing. Let's just jump out again. Okay, so I can't type to save my life. However, this seems to work great. Let's do a typing test. Take it. I have it on double spacing at the moment. Let's put it back on single. Oh, it's a bit sticky. Not a surprise, who uses a 5/8 key? Still sticky. So that, I hope the camera focuses, is the Empire Aristocrat. It types beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. All right, so what are the features about this? So yeah, each side we've got the ribbon direction changer if we want to do that manually. Feed rollers. The line spacing on this is only single, which advances 2 notches, and then double, which advances 3 notches. Okay, so that's double spacing up there, that's single spacing there. There is a paper release on both sides. That's this lever here, or over here it's camouflaged. It's this one here, it does the same thing. We have carriage release there. I don't really know how much more there is to tell about this machine. One of the things I love about this machine is, see here, it has this little cutout here, and then there's a similar cutout on this side, and this is so you can see when you're coming to the end of your paper. And I am stunned at how many machines don't have that feature. So you're constantly looking to see, oh, do I have enough paper left? Trying to guess. I typically write with the backing sheet anyway, so I have a backing sheet that's ruled up, so I actually have a margin at the top and a margin at the bottom, so that when it's approaching the end of the page, I can see quickly, and I can't see my ruled up margin page at a glance. All right, it's literally just a piece of paper with a margin ruled up the top and down the bottom, just in bright red biro, so that it's really easy to see through the top page. And that's good. It actually makes the typing nicer, and it's easier on your platen. I think that's about it. There's a little feature which I don't know how often you'd use this. I wasn't around back in the day when these were used as functional pieces. I'll just grab myself a biro. Okay, so I have a biro here. So if you wanted to actually rule a line, you put your biro in here, and then carriage release. You can make vertical lines. So again, I don't know how often you'd use that, but it's something that they spruiked. I think that really that's the limit of the features, to be completely honest. But yeah, so now that we're sure that it works, let's put this back together. All right, I believe I neglected to actually give the body a wipe down beforehand, so I'm going to do that now. We'll be very careful around the decal. Okay, so there we have it. So this ribbon cover, that goes down. This one, doesn't like, it's just a little bent out of the way, but that's okay. You can push it down, and this isn't going to be a perfect fit. I can cope with it looking like that, partly because I have another one that does the same thing, so I know it's not me, it's some sort of manufacturing idiosyncrasy. Okay, so that is the Empire Aristocrat, the English, well, Commonwealth version of the Hermes baby. Now, it might be a bit hard to see from watching a video of watching me clean a typewriter how great these are to type on. They are legendary. If you are in somewhere like Australia and potentially the UK, I don't know, you're going to find these a lot easier to get your hands on than a baby. And then if you do find a baby in Australia, like, they're generally hundreds of dollars. People know that they're valuable. They might not know why, but they just know that they are. So if you want something that has the same typing experience, but will probably cost you a lot less because people don't know what they are, grab one of these. But don't give me too much competition on Marketplace, because I'm happy to buy these when I can find them. They do come in a number of evolutions over the years, so the basic body shape has stayed the same, but you'll find that the keys have changed. So I think they started making these in the late 1940s. They had round keys then, and so some of the function keys were red instead of, and they had black. Most of the keys are black, and they had some red function keys. This model, by the time they went to these kind of square keys like we have here, they did evolve into the early models of this had the red function keys again, but then you had, they still had the green keys, and now everything is green. Now, funny thing, when I got my first one of these, I don't know what it was. I loved it. It was a lot more of a headache to get up and running. But once it was working, I loved typing on it. I have typed tens of thousands of words on this machine. Well, my other one of this machine. And I don't know what it was, but for some reason, typing away, every time I typed on it, I felt like I was a war correspondent, which is the weirdest thing, unless that other machine has, I don't know, had been owned by a war correspondent and the spirit stayed with the machine. Who knows? Anyway, when I saw the movie Lee recently, so based on Lee Miller, who was a female war correspondent in World War II, the movie stars Kate Winslet. It is tremendous. It is such a good movie if you haven't seen it, so go and see it. Well, it's not in the cinemas anymore. Stream it. Excellent movie. She, as a war correspondent, has a Hermes baby. So one of these, but the slightly earlier ones, because this is a 1950s model. And the ones in the 1940s, so hers have the round keys, but I would imagine the mechanism is very similar, and so the typing experience is very similar. So now I'm not surprised at all that I felt like a war correspondent, because a very similar machine was used by one of the most famous war correspondents. Now, on the age, if you want to know where the serial number is, it is just hidden in here behind the carriage on these machines. So based on this number, it is, according to the typewriter database, a 1956 model, which makes about sense. I don't have the provenance documentation for this or for my other one. So 1956 is, yeah, probably about right. Why they're still army green, I have no idea, because no one was at war then. But anyway, doesn't matter. Great little machine. I love it. I'm going to go away and type some more on mine, or on this one. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.